Hi, everybody. Thank you very much again for joining us. I am delighted today to be joined by Eric Christopherson, who is Chief Product Officer for Veson. I'll ask Eric to give you a little bit more about Veson shortly. This year, we've had some fantastic entries for the 2021 Captain's Table, and we're really excited about how that's coming together. This series of videos is a really great opportunity to share with you some of our thoughts, some of our sponsors' thoughts around the future of shipping and what's happening. And as I say, today with Veson, we'll explore data and the analytics side of the maritime sector. By way of a quick introduction, my name is Chris O'Callaghan. I'm the Director of HFW Consulting, and it's my pleasure to be working with the Captain's Table since its first year in 2019, and it's just a brilliant competition that we've seen grow in stature and status over the last 3 years, and I'm delighted to be here again. Enough about me. I'm going to hand to Eric. I can introduce you, Eric, but I suspect you do that far better than I ever could. So welcome and thank you again, and Eric, to you.
Well, thank you very much, Chris, and thank you to the Captain's Table. Really excited to be able to share some thoughts and have a good dialogue on important issues within the maritime industry today. As you mentioned, Chris, I'll cover a little bit about Veson Nautical for those that are not familiar. We have the privilege and responsibility, really, of having a number of great clients on all sides of the trade. So we create software for owner-operators, commodity traders, and then tonnage charterers that are not typically commercially managing voyages, but are very interested in the cargoes that are on the water. We've been in the business for quite some time and have a cloud platform that we are very excited to continue to evolve and innovate with those great customers and really focused on the commercial aspects of the maritime trade.
Fantastic, Eric. Thank you. And we'll explore a little bit about some of the challenges and the opportunities you're seeing as we go through today. I guess by way of a starting point of our conversation, and very topical given what's happening this week in Glasgow, sustainability is a hot topic. We all know that. It's sort of being discussed at boardroom. What are you seeing as the key challenges that are impacting the shipping sector from that regards? And I appreciate it's a huge topic. And then specifically, what are you seeing as a business in terms of some of the things you're either using now or having the pipeline to help mitigate some of the challenge of that?
Yeah, it's certainly a large challenge that the industry is facing. I will note it's not necessarily a new one, and that there's been progress being made, albeit perhaps not as quickly as many would like over the course of many years, and that's true for Veson Nautical's contributions as well. Whether it's the support for IMO 2020 in our software and allowing clients to comply with those guidelines, or creating reports that are focused on emissions and the consumption of bunkers on a voyage. Managing bunker spend is not something new to the industry at all. And we find that we were and continue to be very well positioned to help our clients with a lot of the challenges that are arising out of new metrics and measures and different variants of reporting requirements that are coming their way. And it's been really exciting to see that ramp up and be able to hear from our clients what's important to them. A lot of that focuses and centers around collecting data in an audible and controlled fashion, which we've been in the position to do. Have our voyage reporting capabilities back to the vessel owner operators in the office, and can allow for auditing and really control around taking in updated emissions information from the vessel and then reporting on top of that. But part and parcel to that data collection, then you've got to build a bunch of analytics and reporting around it. And we see that there are certainly a number of different frameworks in the industry that give us a guideline for a technical implementation, but we also see that there are bespoke requirements coming from counterparties, and that more data that maybe would have been a little bit closer to the vest in years prior is being shared. And we're seeing, emerging different formats depending on who's asking for what. Ultimately, it's it's the same data. It just might be just in a little bit of different of a format or a calculation. But because we've been doing what we've been doing for so long, we can enhance aspects of our product to help our clients kind of solve for those problems or those requirements. The other aspect that we're seeing emerge is really more and more want or desire for decision support around sustainable operations, or even more so in the pre-fixture space as well, where the other side of the trade may be asking the owner operator, what are some options that you can give me, whether it's using a different fuel, taking a different route, or perhaps going at a different speed to kind of manage the movement of the cargo in a more sustainable manner. And of course, on top of that, they're managing their goal as well. So you see an enormous amount of collaboration in the industry, which, I think it's a quite competitive industry. But what's really exciting to see is the amount of collaboration around the issue, whether it's software company to software company via partner networks or those types of arrangements, or it's owner operator to charterer, where they're collaboratively working on a voyage to make sure they're both kind of keeping, in line with what they said they were going to do and achieving an overall target. So, we're excited to be introducing more and more decision support into the application in the pre-fixture space specifically. I think we already offer a great way to compare estimates and kind of look at different scenarios. But looking at the market and what's available in supply, and kind of integrating some great third-party data into the decision-making process, and kind of seeing, if you have a cargo that you're trying to move, what in a specific region, what are the vessels available in a really, tight and concise way, and if they're available, are they actually on offer, and what, how long will it take them to meet the laycan, and these types of things. And further to that, we have recorded on our vessels, many different ratings and things that you can pull into that process. So really giving the people that are trying to arrive at what really is a very complex business decision, all of the data and input required really in one place. That's what we're aiming to do and have done in some of the areas that we've more recently launched in our product. So the one thing I would add is that, our partner approach, and realizing that we're not going to build everything ourselves. I think that, it's it would be a foolish kind of position to take, to think that this very large and vast problem that we're all facing can be solved by one company or one player or one movement in the industry. So, we have a very open and agnostic approach to integration this year, really formalizing our Veson partner network and adding some really great companies to help us and help our clients help, themselves really arrive at more sustainable decisions and have more tools in kind of the toolbox to work with.
And there's a couple. Thank you. There's a couple of things in there you said which I find really interesting. I mean, it's all fascinating, but of particular note, you talked about collaboration and the sharing of data and the openness of sharing of data. Is that something you've seen change quite dramatically in the last couple of years, or is it been sort of always just getting better and clearer and more transparent over a longer period of time?
It's a great question. From what I've seen, it feels like there's a great deal of collaboration in the industry and want to achieve common goals. And that's juxtaposed to, of course, everybody's trying to compete and have the most profitable business and drive their own business. But I think there's a really collaborative community in shipping, and that's what I've kind of picked up on. And on the data side of the question, I think there has been more openness to sharing, and it's been kind of a bit of the requirement of the, who's calling for doing the business and what their goals are, from, achieving perhaps better financing rates, or, commercial aspects of their business being achieved by requiring some of the data to prove, hey, we're moving a lot of cargo and certainly emitting, our fair share, but we're doing so and we're getting kind of a handle on it. Like many of the major cargo producers have already announced benchmarks and are tracking towards those, and they're using technology. Maybe they're using ours or other very similar offerings, but to monitor those benchmarks. What I will say is an area of improvement and something that we're excited to be working on with a few clients over the course of this quarter, and we'll probably be a little bit more loud about in 2022, is really having structured data sets around voyage operations exchanged within our platform. So when I did my quick intro, we have the benefit of being on both sides of the trade and having really great clients that give us great ideas as they look at it from their side. One of the common things that comes through is the enormous amount of unstructured emails that are being passed that have just a great deal of information that each party is interested in. And we see an opportunity and are building towards an opportunity to streamline that and standardize the communication around the execution of a voyage. So allowing a carrier or owner operator to relay information around the contract, and that can be around the voyage execution itself, but also the bunker information over to the charterer as well, and have that charterer take that into our platform or another one if they're using our API, and use that to kind of either build their own reporting or track their own kind of overall targets. So we see that as a great improvement that we're excited to introduce over the course of the next coming quarters, and kind of taking all of that out of the inbox and have it be more in an audited kind of and programmatic fashion and exchange between our clients. So we're excited about that.
And I think that it's a beautiful segue into my next question, actually. So the last sort of 18, 20 months, we've seen the impact of the pandemic on the logistics and supply chain. We know that things have got longer lead time. We know that the likes of Walmart, I believe, Coca-Cola, IKEA, there are a number of these big household names that have chartered their own vessels to move things into different ports for the Christmas rush. We know all that's happening. But that ability to track and or report and use data to really determine the progression of cargo has become more and more important, hasn't it? And I'm curious to see whether you feel that that's going to continue, and that requirement of that real-time data is going to get much more sort of literally in the palm of your hand on one of these devices as we move forward.
Yeah, I'm continually impressed by what technology allows us to do, as just in our common everyday, but also at the level of enterprise businesses. And I can't envision a world where that view into where is my cargo or where are other cargoes that are similar, I can't imagine that degrading in importance over the arc of the coming years and beyond. We were really excited to close a recent acquisition of a company called Ocean Bolt, and they apply a great algorithmic approach to commercially available AIS data to give you view into real-time port congestion, and more recently predicting ETAs or predicting a destination, given kind of the commodity flows and the carrier that they're looking at in the application. So we're excited that the team within Ocean Bolt has added that capability to Veson. We've always been very data driven in how we've built our software and essentially enabling our clients to we think access the data at the right time to make the right decision. I think having a data platform like the Ocean Bolt platform as part of our product family is going to elevate that all greatly. But the insights that they're able to create as it relates to the movements, using geospatial kind of tagging and those types of kind of custom polygons, whether it's, defining where the berth is, where the terminal is, what's moving in and out of it, or, more sustainable, to bring it back to the sustainability topic, the marine protected areas, having those geospatial, those tagged, across the globe, and being able to analyze, the speed at which vessels are going through those areas, whether they're slowing down, and those types of aspects. I think sustainability has a lot of different angles. Your lead up was quite right. And it's just a massive topic. It's not just about emissions, albeit that's kind of where we tend to get pulled into the conversation, but the marine protected areas and kind of, ensuring, that, the wildlife and that part of the ocean is protected. That's absolutely critical as well. And we're excited to have, another kind of angle to our offering, to help, those that are interested in analyzing that, to give them the tools to do so. So, kind of a mixed answer, but it's certainly, I think, poor congestion and visibility into movement, and what's going on in real time. It's not going anywhere, but I think that the ingenuity and the innovation, of, the team and the members that are building our software, it continually astounds me. I'm in the privileged position of representing their work, but they're solving unique problems, with technology day in and day out, and it's inspiring.
And it must be fantastic, mustn't it, just to watch there. I can only imagine that you just see those incremental improvements in what's happening and what can be reported and how that data can be used. And it's fascinating, and sort of leads me to a question of curiosity, if I may. There's been lots of talk about data integrity, and the ability to switch off OSS on, when you're in particular areas you shouldn't be, and blah blah. How are you overcoming, or are you overcoming? Is that a problem that can be overcome that you're seeing at the moment in terms of that the real controllability of data coming out of vessel movement?
Well, I think that that has been happening for quite some time, and that's why I think we see solutions in other companies that are, analyzing, the weight of the vessel as it comes out of a given area, and they've turned off their AIS, kind of system under the guise of whatever the reason might be, but then there might be a little light coming out of that area, or, and I think there's a lot of interesting AI and kind of learning that's going on in those companies that specialize in that. We're positioned to answer those questions with Ocean Bolt. It's not necessarily an area that we're focusing on right now, but I think that the kind of coverage excuse, like you start to see consolidation in the AIS, provider segment, specifically, like, Spire's recent acquisition and these types of things, and they're just going to keep getting better, the coverage, that they have. So the excuses are going to diminish as to like why the vessel may not have been, visible. And we've seen just an enormous uptick in data quality from those providers, as to like last time reported and the percentage of visibility, across the whole global fleet. So the excuses are going to be few and far between, and it's going to start to become a mixed answer kind of solution, where it's like, how many times were they around this region? How many times did it start? Were they not visible? And you start to learn, like, okay, this is going to be something that we want to look at from a chartering perspective. Maybe we want to consider or not consider, working with that counterparty. And that type of information, those risk kind of flags, and from a compliance perspective, absolutely, we bring that into our decision-making process. I just want to distinguish the fact that we don't create a product that does that, currently, and we don't really have an ambition to just yet. But we bring that into our decision-making process, absolutely, and integrate with providers that can kind of tell us that and give us kind of, compliance is certainly an issue that we see as top of mind for our clients as well. It's a pretty fluid, from a data perspective, there's a lot of different things you need to consider. There are a lot of different providers, and that's a big dollar or big currency problem. So you hear more from when you mention decarbonization and sustainability being part of the boardroom. Compliance has always been there, and we try to make sure that we're integrating with the right providers to integrate that into our decision-making process for our clients as well.
And that brings us back to a point you made earlier around the importance of collaboration and the sharing of data. And the more that happens, the more that clarity, the more the transparency, and the more integrity the data is going to have. And that clearly makes sense to operators, managers, owners, and around the world. So yeah, I absolutely get that. I'm conscious of time, Eric, but I'm equally interested in what's in the pipeline. What are you seeing as the challenges? We've touched on a few of them over the course of the last few minutes, but what are the big ticket items that the Veson are looking at that you're happy to share with us today?
Yeah, I think in addition to what we've covered, we're going to continue to focus on giving our clients the what we feel is the data at the right time in whatever decision they're trying to make. Automation of workflow is top of mind for us. So there'll be continued kind of programmatic, like I'll call them creature comfort or kind of automated workflows that will continue to hopefully arrive at more of an exception handling workflow as opposed to just continuing to do the same thing over and over again. Connectivity is big for us, so continuing to evolve. Our mission is to be the standard platform that propels maritime commerce, and that's a very big goal, and it's certainly aspirational, but part of that platform, the word platform implies that you're able to integrate with many and all, and also add value to your platform and others. So we'll be continuing to grow our partnership network, and then we're focused also on squarely, the problem of demurrage and how we can help clients manage that aspect of the business. And it does relate to the collaboration, that I've touched on, because if you're coming in and you're trying to make decisions about your lineup at the terminal, you need to know the vessel's position, and you need to know what reality are they going to be there in a specific time. And we're looking to kind of streamline all of that data exchange, from the terminal to the vessel and up to the office, and make sure that we're creating those collaboration workflows. And then something else that we're really excited about is more actively working with clients to connect the commodity trading desk to the freight desk. So we've seen that there's a great deal of collaboration in our commodity trading clients' businesses, where the commodity desk is reaching out to the freight desk, and sometimes they're in the same space, but we think that there's a lot of opportunity to minimize what can be a kind of chatty or bespoke kind of exchange from a communication perspective, and pull some of the tools that we have within either VIP or Ocean Bolt up into that commodity trading segment, and give those traders a view into the freight aspect, and allow for some nice collaboration with the freight desk and the commodity desk. I mentioned compliance. That'll be an area that we'll continue to look at. And outside of that, we really want to pursue making each and every one of our clients as happy as they can be using our software. The team, we're fortunate to have just a fantastic team of engineers, product managers. Our service staff is fantastic. Our professional services organization is second to none, and of course we have a great account management aspect of the business as well. So all of these people, really what they're doing is waking up day in and day out, trying to make sure that everybody has just the best experience using our software, and we keep that top of mind. There are certainly strategic things that we're working on, but ultimately, we just wanted to ensure that we're delivering on the mission critical aspect that our platform is meant to perform for our clients, and ensure that we're delivering them the best product that we possibly can.
Brilliant. And I love the reference to the team at the end, because you're absolutely right. It's that collective number of people coming together and saying, this is it. This is how we're going to make improvements, changes for the betterment of the industry, which is fantastic.
Well, they're where we get, the majority of our client interactions come from the people that are speaking with the clients, and that's the whole team. So, we try to take that feedback in and make the best decisions possible. And we couldn't do it without the team. They're all fantastic.
Brilliant. I've got one final question, if I may, and then sure. I will let you get to your day. Obviously, the Captain's Table, global innovation competition, and we're delighted to be talking to you as part of that ecosystem this year. Tell us what attracted you to the Captain's Table in terms of your interest.
Well, I think we that innovative aspect and supporting innovation within the industry, innovation has a lot of definitions. We feel that as a company, we've been an innovator, and by perhaps giving startups and some other other businesses that are just starting out access to the platform, whether it's via APIs or our partner network or whatever it might be, that we're helping to kind of continue that innovation and giving others kind of a chance to do so on top of a platform that we've worked very hard to create. But it's just interesting. I love to see different ideas and different ways to solve problems. As a product manager, my main goal is to find the biggest problem and try to solve it in the most elegant way. And fortunately for me, I have a team of people that do that as well. But it's I think creativity is part of what keeps any job and any industry fun. And I think that, seeing the creativity and the passion that, is applied by, members of what you all have put together and what you're evaluating, it's exciting. So, and it's, I'm just happy to be able to speak with and share some of my thoughts. And, I'd love for anybody to reach out to me if they think that, there was anything that was misplaced or they have any other ideas. I'm all for feedback, and I'm all for ideas, certainly.
Fantastic. Eric, listen, thank you hugely for your time this afternoon. Really appreciate it. And look forward to catching up with you again soon.
All right. Well, thank you so much, Chris. Really appreciate it.